Welcome to the pre-game. Grimsby Town taking on Wrexham AFC. Yada, 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 yada. Yeah, Grimsby 21st, Wrexham in 3rd. What I want to say is this. You're going to be in for a great show. Stick around all the way through, right till the end. I'm going to finish with a story. We're going to have the stats, the news, and the opinion. We've also got highlights for both sets of fans coming up. Rapido. That means quick. And that's both Grimsby and Wrexham fans. And to the Wrexham fans who know me, I say hello again. And obviously that would be the Ultimate Soccer family. And to Grimsby fans, I say a big hello too. So there's stuff for both sets of fans. As you go through this, stick around to the end, story to finish, a great story with a video to back it up too. But I'll say to both sets of fans, Grimsby, yes, you're down low. And you had a Canadian kid at Grimsby earlier in the season, Arabin Peppel. I'm going to interview him very soon. He's now with Inverness Caledonian Thistle FC in the Scottish Championship. So just so you know, Ultimate Soccer fans, I do delve around and try and get in touch with people around the world to get interviews. And we're going to start getting more. But yes, Arabin Peppel, a Canadian kid, we're going to get in touch with him. We've got the lowdown on him. The club has agreed to do the interview, so look for that to come in the next few weeks. Another reason why you want to stick around with Ultimate Soccer. So do yourself a favor, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Remember, like I say each week, it's like paying for your ticket. Pay your ticket into the ground. Come on, don't be a mug. Get in here, be part of the family. Love it. Everybody does that sticks around, and big up to people who've literally recently subscribed as well. So the story is a channel that's growing, and we are growing, and it's because of you. It's all because of you. That's why this is done. So, before we go mad, I just want to say one thing before we get into the stats and the opinion and everything else and the highlights. The highlights coming up next. But one thing I want to say, both sets of fans, Grimsby fans down in 21st, I can understand why you might be a bit down with the situation. And by the way, Grimsby is a great place. Cleethorpes area, one of my school buddies as a kid. He lived in Cleethorpes, and he knows a lot about that. But Grimsby fans, yeah, 21st in the league. I can understand you're feeling down, yada, 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 but don't be too down. You know what? I don't think you're getting relegated. That's what I don't see. I don't see relegation. But I see a good couple of results from now to the end of the season, and you'll be okay. As for Wrexham, I heard the boo boys. I heard the boo boys. I heard the boo boys recently, and that's just a few. But this is when you got to keep your nerve. If you don't keep your nerve now, when will you? If you're not going to get behind your team in a time of trouble, when will you? And Wrexham fans, be honest now. Come on, bloody hell. I've watched this team on TV and in the ground, not recently in the ground, but over the years, yes, living locally, for close on 40-odd years. There's been some really bad times. This is now a good time in a tough time to get behind the team. And when them boos are really sort of just bellowing out your lungs, that's when you go, you applaud your team and you go, well done, lads. Wasn't your day, yada, yada, yada. That goes for both sets of fans. Right. Get into this show. Like I say, I'm going to read it off for you. News, opinion, stats, the top 5 focus. You're going to love that. A game prediction. Yeah. Game talk. And a story to finish. Hang on in. You're going to love this all the way to the end. Like, subscribe, join the family. Keep with us. Highlights from the last game. Grimsby versus Wrexham at the racecourse ground. What was the score? Do you remember? You will after this. Ball comes out wide. Comes over to Elliot Lee. Elliot Lee now weighs it up. Crosses the ball. Fantastic finish, Ollie Palmer. 1-0. Great finish. Great header. Great way to start the game. 21 minutes in. Grimsby don't clear the ball very well. Interception. Cross comes back in. Will Boyle on the end of that, looking like he's Ronaldo or Messi with what a fantastic finish. Hats off to William Boyle. And finally, Mark Howard now goes with the long ball. Elliot Lee gets on the end of this. Ollie Palmer chases it down. What's he going to do? Crosses, goes nowhere. Elliot Lee on the end of it. 3-0. Fantastic finish. Fantastic game. 3-0 Wrexham. I don't think it's going to be the same this time. So there you go. 3 goals later, the game was done. I don't know if we're going to get the same. We might get 3 goals in the game. We might get more. I don't know. but I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 this time. As for that story coming at the end of the show, it's an England-Scotland international game that I went to. More about that as we go through. Let's get into the stats reel. You're going to love this. And Grimsby fans, if you don't know much about this show, Wrexham fans do. And worldwide Wrexham fans, I big say hello to all of you. And Grimsby fans around the world as well, I say hello to you too. And if anybody's watching right now, if you've got a point to make down below, be a poet. Be a poet on this channel. Yes, Ultimate Soccer has poets. Just drop a big comment down below what you think the score's going to be, or who's going to score first. Will there be a red card? We haven't had one in a little while. Maybe there's one coming. Get in the stats file. I'll see you in 2 minutes 50. You're going to love it. Get in there. And remember, guys, drop down below. Drop a comment down below. Go on, be a poet and tell us who you think is going to win automatic promotion and who's going to go through the playoffs. Yeah, welcome into Blundell Park. Lovely scenes at Blundell Park. And it's the pre-game. We're going to give you some more stats as we roll through. 12 games to glory. Now, each week I take you through the 12 games. And let's face it, we've had 4. Next up, it's Grimsby, which is right now. Then after that, it's Mansfield Town. So it doesn't get any easier. Let's take a look at some of the games coming up this weekend. There's the slate. Take a look. Take a look at that. That's what we've got coming up. There's a few interesting games coming along, but you know, I always talk about the top 5 in League 2. Remember, press pause. Have a lot longer to look at what you've got to look at, but got to keep moving along. Yes, home teams this weekend. League 2, Mansfield Town, Crewe Alexandra, and Stockport County. Stockport County will have a difficult game against MK Dons, as will Crewe against AFC Wimbledon. Mansfield Town have got a tricky one against Colchester United. Big boys on the road, however, this weekend. Wrexham away at Grimsby Town is going to be tough. And MK Dons, as we just said, Stockport County. Remember, press pause. Have a lot longer to look at what you need to. Moving along. Yeah, the last 5 games, top of the points. See who's got what. That's how it looks. And here, your top 5 teams. Remember, we're looking at top 5 teams. That's how they look, with points in the last 5 games. It's not so bad, Wrexham. 8 points right in the middle. AFC Wimbledon, surprisingly, with 10. Stockport only on 7. Moving along. Press pause. Remember, press pause. That's what the live table looks like. Yes, there is indeed Wrexham right now. And as you know, it's Grimsby coming up. 21st in the league. 37 games in, 39 points. But after that, it's going to be a toughie next Friday against Mansfield Town at the Racecourse Ground. And remember, we've got a big interview coming with Arabin Peppel, who is with Inverness Caledonian Thistle in the Scottish Championship. And I can't wait to talk to Bim. He's a great lad. We've got plenty of great questions to ask him. Okay, let's get back on screen. And I hope you did press pause. And I'll tell you what, you're going to go straight back into the narration world with me. Join me right now. I'm going to take you through the top 5 teams and the remaining games from each of the teams in the top 5. Let's go. Have a look. Come on, join me. So the big question is really, who's going to League One? The way I see it, there's still 5 teams left in this and have been for quite some time, yeah? And from left to right, in numerical order, 1st to 5th, yeah? Obviously, Mansfield Town 1st, MK Dons in 5th. I've got to say, I say it's these 5 teams that are going to battle this out till the bitter end. But I'm going to say by the end of the show, you're going to know pretty much where I think this is going to end up. Looking at Mansfield Town, first of all, 8 games remaining as we speak going into these games. If you look at those games there, they haven't got too tough a ride, yeah? You could say Wrexham in a couple of games' time, that's next Friday at the Racecourse Ground, could be pretty tough. Other than that, it's Milton Keynes Dons. 8 games for Mansfield Town. I tell you now, I'm putting my money on Mansfield to win the title, unless Wrexham can really bring some top form. Now, Stockport County has 1 game more, 9 games remaining. Couple of tough games in there. Wrexham, the final day. Notts County, tricky, 7 games to go. Notts County recently coming back to life. Milton Keynes Dons coming up. AFC Wimbledon as well. So there's a few tricky games there for Stockport County. And I watched the game midweek. They weren't really on fire. Now, looking at Wrexham in 3rd, 3 big games coming up for Wrexham. Take a look at them. That's what I'm saying. Excellent time to take on your enemy, especially Mansfield and Stockport, because obviously they're above Wrexham, and that would be the time you want to take them on. Now, moving along, 4 home, 4 away. MK Dons, just 7 games remaining. I think it's running out. 4 away games, 3 at home. And Crewe Alexandra, 8 games remaining, 4 and 4. It's going to be tight, but I think the top 3 is looking good to finish the top 3. I hope you enjoyed that. Staying on screen a little bit longer for you now. I'm going to give you the prediction image. Yes, and I'm going to piss one set of fans off with this, as I always do each week. But you know what? That's football. That's banter. Drop a comment down below. Come on. What do you think the score is going to be? I'm asking you. Come on. You've been here before. Drop a comment. What's the score going to be? Tell me now. I know what I'm thinking. Right now. That's it. Have it. What are you thinking? Down below. Come on. Come on. Right. Going off the game notes now, right off the board. Remember, that story's coming up. It's from England, Scotland International. It's coming up after I go through the game notes with you. That's my prediction. And if I pissed you off, tell me why down below and tell me, come on, what you think the score's going to be. Let's have a laugh. Let's have a laugh. Let's kick it into gear. Moving along, that story is still coming. Let's talk about the game talk. I've got it on the board right now. So referring to the board as I always do, this is what I got in store for you for Wrexham. Wrexham, I've got to tell you, there's more pressure on Wrexham to win this game than there is Grimsby. You might think, well, Steve, Grimsby's the home team. Should be the other way around, right? Should be the other way around. But considering Wrexham's in third and battling away to stay in third and keep that promotion, automatic promotion spot alive, they've got to get a win. They've at least got to get a draw. Yeah, Wrexham failed to score in the last 2 games. Or if you want it exactly, it's 190 minutes. Now, to win, Wrexham needs to be brave. They need to get on the ball. They need to be physical this time out. There's 8 games to go. This is a really lethal passage in the final few games. Right now, Grimsby away is a tough nut to crack. You've got to be brave. You've got to go for it. Everything's got to come off. Excellence in front of net and not just down the wing play. No. I just don't want the wing play. Let's not be so predictable like we've been recently. It needs to be channeled through the middle. I told you a couple of games ago, Andy Cannon, maybe Luke Young needs to come and be very instrumental with the middle of the park and thread that ball, tickle that pass through the middle. We have become predictable to other teams. They're looking for the wing play, and we've got good wing play. But it doesn't need to be the 100% play the way we play. Mix it up is what I'm saying. You've got to stretch Grimsby's defence. Pull them left, pull them right, and literally look for that ball through the middle. Hard work reaps results. Got to tell you. And results have got to be had right now. Like I say, this is a critical 2-game passage when you consider after this one, it's Mansfield Town at the Racecourse Ground next Friday. It's critical for Wrexham to get a result here. A win, I'm telling you now, a win must be had. There's 2 teams chasing, close behind, snipping at Wrexham's heels for that 3rd spot. It won't be there forever if you keep dropping points. No goals in 2 is not a good thing. Like I say, hard work will reap the rewards. Stand off from Grimsby, give them too much space, too much time, you might regret it. The motivation for Wrexham to win this game? Staying in 3rd and hopefully one of the teams above drops a result. That's it. Let's take a look at what Grimsby's about and what they need. For Grimsby to get a result, it's pretty simple. Carry on that form that you've recently got. Right now, they're in the best form of the season. Right now, unbeaten in 6, 2 wins and 4 draws. It's the best form all season. And I'd say this much. This is the best time of the season for Grimsby to welcome in Wrexham to try and take them out because they've got literally their best form. 3 clean sheets in the process as well. 5 goals scored, 3 against. 10 points from 18. Only 3 goals against. Now, if you look at the results, it's like this: 1-1s, 0-0. You saw in the stats reels, but I'll remind you, it's 1-1s, it's 0-0s, it's 1-0s. It's hardly any 2s, or no 3s. So when you add that up, recently, Mr. Artell, coach of Grimsby. He's got this team going in the right direction. He's been there since November, but recently, the last 6 games, unbeaten in 6. Is this time to take a loss? I say it probably is. But is it time to get the 3rd win in 7? It could well be. If Wrexham don't hit the ground running, this could be a time where you could say Grimsby Town will take this game. Finally, the motivation for Grimsby to win this game is quite simple. Move away from the relegation battle and start planning for next year. I don't see relegation. I really don't. But points make prizes. And Grimsby need to get some points in to move away from that relegation. Right now, they're 6 points away from relegation, but you need to be a little bit further away just to breathe easy as the end of the season's coming. Stuck a couple of injuries, your form changes, you could be right in the middle of it. 6 points evaporates into no points, and all you know, within 3 games, you are right in it. So, enough said. I've got to say this much to finish off on the board. Top 5 teams are separated by 8 points. 4 points separates second from 5. It was 5 points, so that's narrowed down to a point. So it's pinching, it's getting tighter. And even down at the bottom 10, it's getting tighter. You also have to say, again, are the wheels falling off Crewe Alexandra's promotion automatic chances with 3 losses in 4? Notts County, all of a sudden, without that disastrous form, well, they're still really in contention to get back into the playoffs. They're in 11th right now, and a few more good results will get them in there. They're only 2 points out of 7th. So when you consider what they've just went through, just imagine if they'd have kept that form. Notts County, with their early season, mid-season form, possibly would be in the top 3, pushing either Stockport or Wrexham out of the top 3. Just imagine that. Just think that for a second. And remember, confidence breeds wins. Wins brings promotion. That's what we're looking at. Now, the story to finish is this. When I was a wee lad, my first international game as a wee lad was to watch England take on Bulgaria at Wembley, the original Wembley. Well, I made the trip on the bus with all the other school kids, and we're going down to Wembley, da-da-da-da-da-da. And the closer we get to Wembley, the less we can see out the bus windows, because all of a sudden, it's not rain. It's worse than that. It's fog. And if you've ever seen the UK when it's foggy, it was foggy. The bus was literally down to a crawl. It took hours to get to the stadium. We did get there, but within about 45 minutes, we got the sad news. Now, imagine this. You're a kid. You've gone to the holy grail of football. You're loving every second of the journey with your footballing friends, your mates, your buddies, and you're going to the holy grail of football. And when you get there, you're the unluckiest kids of all bloody time, because there was a mother of all fogs, and it fogged up everything. And your game got fogged off, and you felt fogged off as well, yeah? That was the first one I went to. But after that, there was another game. A few years later, I think it was probably maybe 2 to 3 years later. And at the time, I got to tell you, Scotland, Bonnie, Scotland, they had a fantastic football team. This was 1978, so I was just a little boy, right? But 1978, and Scotland had a fantastic football team. They were going to the World Cup in Argentina as one of the teams that could win it. They had a magical football team, all the great players. I could name them all off. I'll spare you, but I could, and I still could. And they were taking on England at Glasgow. And I got to go to Glasgow. Now, there's a video link down below about this story if you want to see the complete story. But I'm giving you the short version. But we got to Glasgow, and I'm staying with people, and you'll see that in the video down below. Link on that, click on that, and you'll get the full effect. It was an earlier video, so we've done it slightly different, yeah? But I've gone to Glasgow, and I am like in my freaking element. I mean, I can't believe it. I'm going to go see Scotland play England at Hampden Park, the original Hampden Park. Nothing like this shit today. Nothing like it. Nothing like it. Doesn't even freaking compare. Not even close. Doesn't measure up. It's nothing. It's too generic, too freaking nice. That old Hampden Park, mate, I tell you. It was sandy banks upstairs outside, walking up these stairs, and it was sand. It wasn't wood. It was sand stairs, yeah, old school. You got inside the stadium, and go watch this video for the videos down below. But nowadays, I think you'd be lucky to get 50,000+ in there rocking Lake the day when I went to Hampden Park. I'm not kidding you. I walked up the bank, and it was like walking forever. But the funny part is, I didn't have a ticket. Go to the video and find out how I got in the ground. Go to the video and find out how I got in the ground, right? Yeah, that's in the video too. But I get up this bank, and I'm walking and walking and walking. It seems like I'm walking forever. Massive bank. Once I get to the top, it's exactly what I'm just going to say, and I'm going to swear, because as a young kid, I was like, fucking hell. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And I had to give you the real feel there, because it was like, oh, my life. But I was literally standing on this bank looking down in this cauldron of noise, a massive sea of Scottish flags. Yeah. And like just an amazing atmosphere, and beer cans and beer drinking everywhere. Amazing. And singing and goodwill, yeah? And there's 124,000 people in there. You can't do that at Hampden Park anymore. You couldn't do that for the last 30 years. And I was there at the right time in history. It was England, Scotland, Hampden Park. Like I say, check out the video. You'll love it even more. And I won't tell you what happened in the game, but when something happened, all of a sudden, I wished I wasn't there for a second or two, because all these Scots were like menacingly encircling me for a reason. Somebody scored a goal, and it wasn't them. But it was a fantastic trip, and I tell you what, it was the memory of my lifetime as a little boy. It was England, Scotland, and it was the British Home Championships. That was the little 3-game tournament that the British teams played. It was England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, not the Republic, because they're not British. And it was the 4 home countries teams that played in that tournament. It was fantastic. It was better than any of the football you can get today internationally, because you had the stars of the leagues battling against each other, and you knew all the players, and it was just so much more fun. And you had 3 games against your neighbouring country in 1 week. Saturday, a midweek game, and another Saturday. And after 3 games, there'd be a champion. And on this occasion, Scotland were going to the 1978 World Cup in Argentina. The coach was Ali McLeod. And I'm singing that song as well. So if you're a Scotland fan, you'll hear that song as well in the video down below. But the thing is, England won that game. And the way I reacted, and what happened to me after I reacted the way I did from around the Scots, you'll hear that too. But it was an amazing trip, and that was my first time that I got to an international game where it wasn't fogged out, like the first fogging moment. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed that story. That was my first ever big game. I'll tell you the next story coming is a Manchester City and a Tottenham Hotspur final. As a story, I went to that FA Cup final. That's coming in the next show. The Tottenham Hotspur and the Manchester City Cup final from 1980. And I was a young lad there too. And it was only 2 years later. And something happened to me at that ground. It would be like, oh, my life, really? Oh, that's so sad. You want to stick around for that one. But here's a go. Grimsby, Wrexham, Blundell Park. Let's get ready for that. I don't think we're looking at anything with magical things like 5 or 6 goals. I think this is going to be another tight one. You have to lay your cap on Wrexham being the team to take this one, because they are the favourite per se. But don't write Grimsby taking something out of this. 6 unbeaten, home cooking. Wrexham's got a bit of a trip up into Lincolnshire, right on the coast. You could literally kick the ball out of the stadium into the ocean. It's that close. I'm telling you. But this game's going to be super important for both teams. Probably more so for Wrexham. But also, it's big-time points for Grimsby to get away from that relegation, right? So, let's see what happens on the day. I'm looking forward to another big game. It's going to be a nail-biter. Look at the nails. Look at the nails. Not chewed off. Not chewed off. are yours? Because I tell you what, by the end of this game, someone's nails are getting chewed off. Either set of fans are chewing their nails off right now. 8 games to go. And this is the start of 8 games, because next it'll be 7. And for Wrexham fans, it'll be Mansfield at the Racecourse Ground in less than a week, coming Friday. Keep biting your nails. Let's have it. Cheers.